And I'm taking a little stretch break. Take a little stretch break. Just a little stretch break. What he's talking about.
Lie to the mirror when you call you a boss. No employee cause you can't pay the cost. Can't pay the bill, master no skill. Won't go to school, so awful you are still. No money in bank, but you just like a meal. Prophecy you will die or your grind set still every day. Why do they gun off his spray? I say round the way with the children people play. Same thing in the US down to JA. Pure billet fee fly, nobody engrave. Babylon politician won't behave. Minimum wage designed to make slave. When we born, go for be old and grey, but we die young now, and that's why I pray.
Before your sun begins, forgive me for my sin, and thank you for the things you've done for me. Hallelujah, praise the Lord. Allahu Akbar. Freed me from myself. Of that you deserve the praise. I'm living proof the dead are raised. You brought me back from the grave, was a slave, but I'm free. Jesus' way is the key. I am so unworthy. Can't believe it done it for me, but you did. So I owe you my everything, and I will do your will from the cradle until it's the song I sing. Never ever bow down to a clown who think I'm John now. Follow you are my king, and I will do what I can cause I'm able. And how can I act like it's not just putting food on my table? Will a man rob Jah? Heaven's yes. Who stole his name and think I said his best? So Jah never loses, overfilled every test. So now say them he got cooked deal next. Blasphemy, pure disrespect. Try make Jah people forget. Ocean trade cross, yeah, ain't no pick. Royalty bank, I rewrite the check. Boom, boom, bye, bye. Why try? Yeah, yeah. Any man try test, get chastised. Ooh, right, yeah. Boom, boom, bye, bye. Bye, bye. No lie. Never disrespecting most high. Ooh, right, yeah. Kingdom suffering violence, reducing the tyrants, cause the Catholics are silent, soul in the violence. And this I know, when they read the Bible it tells me so. Oh well, oh well, oh well. When they read the Bible it tells me so. Yeah, Mr. President Obama, can build at the top of that, rebuilding the bottom. Problem we can solve them, let's do it together. Fixing up the hood and make the whole country better. Yeah, Mr. President Obama, white man with a pants, black man pick the cotton. We the foundation the U.S. is built on, holding up this nation, the ghetto children. First I wanna say congratulations. Had a brother crying watching the inauguration. Black man prayers, that is elevation. Time for celebration. Yeah, we did it. Dr. King dream almost came true. Wish that he was still alive so his I could see you. See through, people got out there and voted for you. Voice of the voices screaming loud, I hope you don't ignore us. A chorus, a ghetto children sing the blues. Wanna walk instead of crawl, but we be needing shoes. And we cannot afford them, cause we ain't got no jobs. But we can buy them if we sell sex, drugs, or rob. I really wish my dad ain't had to cop a block. And I really wish my mama had to slob a knob. I know we owe you some, but we ain't got a lot. So did she have to pay taxes on a blowjob? She can be anything, you tell her no prob. How many she got us to have your job? What make you laugh can make you cry. Same God that give you life can make you die. Why? Did you support abomination? Abomination is really losing faith in the most high ability to plead your case and win. To gain the world, you sold your soul for sin. On Judgment Day, Obama, you won't have no booty skin. Can't fool me cause you spread a couple dollars round. But you talk a good game, really had me. I be the fool, but you couldn't fool my daddy. So go ahead, ride off in your caddy. Black bread sold us out, sadly. It ain't a game, nothing in Bradley. I guess the federal is gonna come and grab me. We raised $1 million for your campaign. Played a part to make sure you did the damn thing. I was in a cell where you was drinking champagne, praying you would let the Father do the planning. And for a little while, you was on target. I can't downplay your test. It's the hardest. It's like I can make change with this power, and I only need a couple more hours. What I gotta say, what I gotta do. He gave me one term, but I need to. Lucifer whisper to you, you can barely hear it. I'll give you the world for your Holy Spirit. I know you couldn't see it in the physical, but God was making moves in the spiritual. Feeling is a monster, I fear it too, but God was trying to use you for another miracle. Guess who's coming at your door? Don't look shocked like I socked and cracked your jaw. I know that's what you expect, but I wouldn't if I wanted to. I won't let you see me sweat, see me vex. Don't you start tripping, pitching the bitch. I'll be coming mine to get my shit and move on like you did when I first fell. No collects, no checks, no V's in mail. I don't wanna sex you, girl, I see your face. I'd rather stick my hand like
Be a whole nother type of show real quick. All right, so we're just gonna I got some things in this Be a whole nother type of show real quick. All right, so we're just gonna I got some things in this slideshow that I want to show you guys real quick, and then we're gonna move on. So this is kind of like a appetizer. I want to go over a few things because I've been getting questions the last couple of weeks specifically about, you know, Minister ENQI. You know, the information is beautiful, and I've been implementing the things that you said to implement in my life, and they're working. But, and I'm just like almost reaching through the phone to slap the butt out of their mouth. Like, what do you mean but? Everything's working. Should be no but. Like, but Dr. Sebi said lemon is a hybrid. So we have to deal with citric acid and look at the lemon a little bit more and the role that it plays. So I'm going to breeze through some stuff because Brother Dave did a very good job at talking about dietary habits and things like that. So we're going to get moving. All right, so this is the timetable that you're supposed to, okay, we get graphics. This is the timetable of when you should be eating. Okay, this is very important right here. 11 to 7 a.m. is the only time you should be consuming solid food. Period. You have a natural biological clock. If you do not stick to that natural biological clock, it does not matter what you're eating. You could be on everybody herbs, on a kale cleanse, detox, fast, superfood, whatever. If you're outside of your natural biological rhythm, it's not going to work for your body. Period. From 11 to 7 is when your body wants to consume. From 7 to 3 is when your body is assimilating all the nutrients you just consumed throughout the day into the body. From 3 to 11 is the period dedicated to eliminating toxins. Okay? All right. Outside of 11 to 7 p.m., you can do some tea or herbs, your veggie and fruit smoothies, and of course water. All right. Lemon, I recommend eating or squeeze first thing with warm herbs right after. After 7 p.m., I recommend the same warm herbs with the lemon before bed. And that's not lemon in the herbs. It's not lemon tea. It's eating a whole lemon separately at least a half hour before or after you drink the tea. The veggie or fruit juice can be slipped in throughout the day to compensate for lingering addictions in the form of sweet, sour, or hot cravings. So this is for the people adjusting to a new diet style. Okay, you're still gonna have the cravings. To think you're not is crazy. Okay, but you want to begin to make drinks and things that are natural and still healthy for you, but that takes care of those cravings. Okay, right now my twins and my 3-year-old don't even really know what real ice cream is. My son is positive that ice cream comes out of the blender. Okay, 'cause that's what I sell him every time we make a smoothie. No, this is ice cream. This is ice cream. No, them kids from next door don't know nothing. This is the time when your body is assimilating all the nutrients. Problem: if you're still eating during the time that your body's supposed to be assimilating, you will not be able to utilize any of the nutrients you just consumed. Okay? The body needs is 8 hours to consume, assimilate, and eliminate. Throwing this or any other phase of the body's natural rhythm off throws all of the other ones off. All right, works the same for the elimination period. If you're not having complete or healthy eliminations, i.e. sweating, urination, defecation, certain organ failure is imminent. Okay, certain organ failure is imminent. So we were kind of touching on it a little earlier. You have to be, especially ladies, you have to be very careful with the detergent, the deodorant that you're putting on your underarms. Okay, that's not allowing the lymph nodes that's right under your breast to drain. Okay, and if it doesn't drain, guess what happens when you go to get a checkup? They feel a little bump. That's just a full lymph node. You can take off the deodorant, smell bad for about 2 weeks, but the lymph node will drain. He ain't gonna tell you that though. He's gonna keep you loading up with the deodorant and offer you some something else, some medication or a knife maybe. Okay, but you can just drain that. And also, while we're talking about breast cancer, real quick, you know, if you loosen up on the bras a little bit. Okay, ladies, you can't constrain the breasts like that. Those are the same as men's testicles. They have to move and bounce. They have to move and bounce. They're in the process of creating hormones all day. If they're not moving and they're still and they're stagnant, those hormones they're creating are coagulating. Excuse me. They're coagulating, and that can also lead to you having nodes, which will be benign and then become malignant, so on and so forth. So the breasts have to move. Okay, the breasts have to move. The body has to have clean pores, a clean colon, and a clean bladder to maintain health. Red blood cells differentiate based on their environment. If the environment is too toxic, the red blood cells will degenerate into cancer cells. Okay, let me make sense of this for you real quick. The red blood cells do not have a nucleus, meaning they don't have a mind of their own. Everything in your body is generated from red blood cells. And the way the red blood cells do that is by the frequency of the organs they're surrounded by. The liver is responsible for equipping them and sending them to where they need to go. So, real quick, I eat some of this popcorn right now. Popcorn goes down my esophagus, hits the stomach. I had a bag earlier, the chronic corn. Oh, plug for the chronic corn, it is crazy. Spirulina popcorn. Peace. Yeah, spirulina popcorn. Crazy. So, I eat the spirulina popcorn. It goes down my throat. It hits my stomach. My stomach separates it into small little groups. Some of the groups, because your stomach also, people don't know, is like a balloon. So it's deflated when there's no food in it. It's just an empty little bag in there. All right, so when you eat, the stomach separates the food into groups that it can handle size-wise, and there's a little bit of pool of acid on the bottom of the stomach, right on top of the pyloric valve there. Breaks the food down, opens the valve, the food goes into the duodenum. That's where real digestion happens, in your duodenum. The duodenum is like a nuclear reactor. So anybody that's aware of the Hadron Collider, the particle collider, where they're trying to find the God particle and all that kind of stuff, they got that right out of your duodenum. Okay, that's happening every day, all day. That's how your body breaks down the foods that you eat into the mineral elements, so that your body can recombine them into vitamins. Okay, so if you don't know what a vitamin is, That's what a vitamin is. A vitamin is just a compound of minerals. Okay, so the duodenum breaks the food down to its basically back to its element form, and the liver, which is your body's master alchemist, reformulates them into what your body needs. So minerals are more important than vitamins. Just a footnote, because I know a lot of people that goes heavy with multivitamins, and it's not doing anything for your body. Period. Okay, because you need minerals to metabolize vitamins, and if you don't have vitamins, your liver can create vitamins out of minerals if you have a sufficient supply. All right? So let's still follow this food though. So it's going to go from my duodenum down to my small intestine through the portal vein into the liver. Once it gets there, now the red blood cells are going to be weaponized, so to speak. So say for instance, my lung has some tissues that need to be replaced. My liver is going to equip the red blood cells with the minerals that it needs, the vitamins that it needs, and send it to my lung. Wow. Based on the electromagnetic frequency from the lung is going to convert those red blood cells into new lung cells. Okay? Those red blood cells will differentiate into lung cells. Okay? Now, what happens when you have a very acidic environment in a specific area of the body? So say for instance, the same scenario. My liver sends some red blood cells up to my lung to become lung cells. My lung is black. I smoke a pack of cigarettes a day. Or maybe I don't smoke cigarettes, I smoke weed. We're going to talk about weed later, but I love the cigars just as much as I love the weed. Okay, you're going down. All right, so my lungs are very polluted. They're black, they're brown. When the red blood cells get there, they're going to actually degenerate into cancerous cells. They're not going to turn into healthy lung tissue because guess what? Healthy lung tissue doesn't exist in my body. Right? So there's no healthy lung tissue to signal those red blood cells into differentiating into new healthy lung cells. Okay? So I'm going to have cancer cells floating around. Okay, I plugged the spirulina popcorn. I mean, this is the Mama Thomas. Minister ENQI. All right? So the goal should be a gallon a day of mineral-dense and hydrogen-dense spring water. Okay? The reason being is because if you don't need the water, your body will, it'll kind of be full, so you can't OD on water. However, a lot of us are carrying years worth of dehydration. And one of the ways you know how long you've been carrying dehydration is when your body no longer requests water from you. That's right. When your body no longer requests water from you, you are going, chances are inside of 36 months you're going to be on a dialysis machine. Once your body no longer is saying, I feel like I need a glass of water. Just that simple craving means that a large part of your immune system is still functioning. Once that's gone, you headed for trouble. Okay? So you want to make sure you're getting that water in. And for the people that are already at that stage, force some water down your throat. Okay? And if your children, I know some folks dealing with children, the children, I don't like water. That's fine. I didn't ask you if you liked water. I just told you to drink some. Because we got to do it like that. A lot of parents nowadays, they get caught up in this friend thing. It's like, I tell my children all the time, the friend thing is optional. That's a bonus if this thing works out and we cool. However, that's not my job. My job is to make you into the best person I can make you, like a little better than I am, at least. All right, so Dr. Hayashi. Anybody familiar with Dr. Hayashi? Yeah. All right, it's like one or two people. Anybody familiar with Kangen machines? Yeah. Alkaline. All right, everybody like, yeah. Dr. Hayashi said he made a mistake with the Kangen machines. He's the Japanese doctor that put all that research out. Okay, and he said the mistake he made was that none of the health benefits were attributed to the water. It was all attributed to the hydrogen density in the water. So now he no longer sells Kangen machines, and he only backs hydrogen-based supplements for improving your water, okay? Like the Mama Thomas. All right, and I'm kind of moving through this one a little bit fast because I have another presentation I really want to get to, so we're just going to kind of touch on some things here. All right, specific foods to eliminate, and I know you can't do it all by tomorrow morning, but I want you to work on it, okay? Milk and all dairy products, okay? Milk is more dangerous than pork. Milk is more dangerous than pork. Milk is more dangerous than pork. Got to send that out to the family all around the world. They have to, when the purpose of milk is to give a baby instructions on how their cells should grow. Every night, that's why it's important for you to touch a little bit of REM sleep. That's that deep level of sleep when you're, okay, well, let's do it like this. Inside of your cells, what powers the cells is mitochondria. Every cell has an electromagnetic balance that has to be kept as one of the lines of defense. That's why copper and iron is what makes up a red blood cell. Okay, copper is electric, iron is magnetic. So you have that electromagnetic balance. Also, then all of the red blood cells in your body having a negative charge on the cell membrane, that's the wall on the outside of it, keeps them moving freely throughout your circulatory system. Okay, the moment that charge, that negative charge is gone from the cellular wall, you're going to come down with what they call now rouleau. And rouleau is basically the red blood cells kind of sticking together, and then from there is arthritis, diabetes, you know how it goes from there. However, the point going back to milk is this. Milk is designed to give your body instructions. Every night when you hit that REM sleep, the electromagnetic defense system around the cells drops so that the hormones from your brain that your body's producing can go into the cells, give them instructions on what they need to do, start tomorrow when they get up, you know, like your parents did to you, right? And so on and so forth. When you give your child milk, you're giving your child instructions to grow like a cow. You're sending each one of the 100 trillion cells in your child's body, or your body, because people still drinking milk. Like, I don't drink no milk, I just eat bread. You're drinking milk. You're giving your body instructions to grow like a cow. Okay, and I used to be a personal trainer for a few years, and I had a couple of people, and they'd be like, yo, you know, what's going on? I hit this little ceiling, you know, because you first start working out, you losing weight like there's no tomorrow. Then after a while, you go through this little period where your body's changing, but you start getting a little bit heavier. So you might go from 100 pounds, drop down to 85 pounds. Now for the next few weeks, you're actually moving back up to 90 pounds. And you're like, hold on, what's going on? I'm following everything, I'm working out. What's happening is your body sculpting. Muscle burns fat in the body. It eats fat. So as you start to work out, if you're not used to working out, what's going to happen is you're going to start building muscle, which is going to build a little density, which is going to bring your weight up, but you're still losing fat and toxins. So sometimes that discourages people and they stop working out, but that's the time when they at that little hump, they need to keep going forward. But people that deals with a lot of milk and dairy, like, yo, it's just not, dude, it's something you're not doing at home. And I know usually 9 out of 10 times, it's milk, okay? So we got to get rid of milk. That's liquid meat. Flesh, you know, we can get rid of it all in this order too. Then we get rid of the flesh, wheat, oats, rice, sugar, soy. We got to get rid of the soy, processed starch, soy, chemicals in the food. This is important, chemicals in the food, drink, hair or on the skin. Hair or on the skin, ladies. Okay? We got to get rid of the chemicals from the hair and on the skin. All right? Colorings, additives, emulsifiers, yeast, coffee, alcohol, ketchup, dressing, mayo, and hot sauce. All of those things need to go. Now, for my hardcore hot sauce fanatics, I did not say cayenne had to go. It's the bland processed vinegar that the cayenne is in that they use to make hot sauce that has to go. So you make your own hot sauce. Or just load it up with cayenne pepper.
Why wheat, oats, and rice?
They are all mucus-forming, acid-forming agents. Yeah, none of those are good.
So no oatmeal.
Soy is no good, and I'm glad somebody said why soy, because I almost just went right on past soy. Soy is plastic.
Huh?
When soy was first discovered, Henry Ford used soy to make cars. Even to this very day, well, they don't make albums anymore, but albums are soy. Remember albums? Vinyl, that's soy. Vinyl car seats, that's soy. Your body does not process soy. In fact, all of the reports about why we should take soy and all of the health benefits come from Japan. And they don't eat soy, first of all, from America, because 97% of soy in America is genetically modified. Japan, they don't do that. Number two, the difference between here and Japan, because that's the first thing people do when I tell them stop eating soy. Oh, yeah, boom, this thing they said in Japan. First of all, we're not Japanese, so stop. But another thing they do in Japan is they pre-digest the food. They pre-digest the food. The same way they do like pickles, they pre-digest the soy. So sometimes they'll pickle it, they'll use enzymes, they'll put yeast bacteria on there. Some people believe in yeast. You know, you can go to the store right now and get nutritional yeast. I don't do none of that. But that's what they do. So the soy is pre-digested when they eat it. Okay, so it's not genetically modified, and it's just something else. We got to stay away from soy. All right, because you see these big vegetarians, they like 270 pounds, and they're vegetarians. Like, dude, something is not right with your plan. Yeah, exactly. I forgot about that. The estrogen. Yeah, soy converts to a lot of estrogen in the body. Men, we got to worry about that. Okay, women, pretty much just estrogen. Men, we have estrogen and testosterone. Okay, we got to worry about that. And everybody that's on them little cheap sex pills, you are turning yourself into a woman. Period. That's what those cheap little sex pills is out there for. Anything that increases a man's testosterone. If you do not use that new testosterone, because there's a balance that has to be maintained constantly in your body between estrogen and testosterone. The moment you boost up your testosterone, even a percent, if you don't use that 20 to 30 minutes, that's converting into estrogen. So that's where you get the whole ex-wrestlers with boobs. Because they did so much steroids for so long, now that they're not beef-caked up like that, you know, that's why like Sylvester Stallone just got caught not too long ago with the growth hormone, right? Because growth hormone is like a safer alternative to hardcore steroids, you know, but that's got some issues too. You're the big forehead, you're the caveman look. So, okay, this is also crucial. There's a lot of stuff out there that you're not going to see on the eliminate list, and there's a lot of food out there that's not going to be on the to eat list, okay? All of those things, use sparingly, all right? So the good foods. Herbs, 5 to 21 cups a week is a must. Let me talk about this real quick. Some of this stuff we're going to start to skip. But this with the herbs is very important because we're missing the whole point with herbs, okay? And that's due to history. Herbs were not invented, spices were not invented to flavor your food. They were not created for your palate. Herbs and spice, our ancestors knew that every time you breathe, you're inhaling parasites, period. Thousands of them. They was here on this planet long before we was, and they'll be here when we're gone. Okay? That's a cost of living here on Earth. Parasites. So they created the herbs and the spices to always add to the food so that you would always have these things floating throughout your system. Period. So that the parasites could never take hold and cause degeneration or retardation in growth. Okay, so these are things that are always supposed to be in your diet, period. All right, now, also real quick, a lot of people have a lot of different ideas about how you should be eating your vegetables. I do not. You know, don't eat a red vegetable with a green one. Don't eat fruit right after vegetables. Don't eat grains with, that's all part of a plant. You have three basic parts of a plant. You have the seed, which is your grains. You have the base of the plant, which is your vegetable, and then you have the fruit, well, which is the fruit. So you need to eat all that, period. Okay, so we're going to speed through some of this stuff here. So I want to get to the information on the mitochondria. And if anybody that emails me, this list is free. This is the food list that I send everybody. Okay, so you don't have to pay for this. It's just, all right, but this is important. Seeds and grains. Let me just say this about the seeds and the grains, because one of the debates that people, if you're a vegetarian, you probably already had this conversation. If you're thinking about adopting a vegetarian lifestyle, you will have this conversation. Meat lovers are going to say, yeah, well, you know, where you going to get your protein? You know, and then we all know some Rastafarians, because I got plenty of them in my family, is missing mad teeth. Right? They frail, right? I mean, it's true. Because they're not getting enough protein. They're not getting enough protein. So, you know, and that's because when we think vegetables, we leave the grains out. So you got to have the amaranth, the black rice, the kamut, millet. Quinoa is extremely high in protein. Rye, spelt, teff, which is high in iron. Okay? This is crucial. This should be 50 to 60% of your diet right here. Grains. Whole grains. All right. So that goes into some of the fruits.
What about black rice?
Black rice is good.
Okay.
Black rice is very high in iron and manganese and okay. I was kind of looking like, what is this? This is crucial here too. Okay, this is important here too. So if you're taking notes, this is something you might want to take notes of. When you're buying your produce, so you know what it looks like. All right? When you're buying your produce, if you see a 4-digit number on the produce beginning with a 3 or 4, that means that it's conventionally grown. All right? Conventionally grown. And what conventionally grown means is that they use whatever's the cheapest. Okay? So it's a guarantee you got chemical fertilizers, insecticides, herbicides, you name it, it's no good, it's in there. All right? 4-digit number beginning with a 3 or 4. A 5-digit number beginning with a 9 means the produce is organically grown. Okay? So just because it's an organic session, it might not be organic. It might have moved something around. But that's how you know if it's organically grown. A 5-digit number beginning with the 8, you should put it back down. Okay? Put that back down. Notice I didn't say that with the chemically grown stuff. But this stuff here, genetically modified for certain. Okay? And the difference between genetically modified and chemically produced produce is they're adding yeast and bacteria into the vegetables. That's how they genetically modify them. Okay? Because in order to modify any living system, you have to insert the new DNA with the old DNA. And the only thing that does that by itself is yeast. Okay? Yeast, viruses, bacteria, that's what they do. They invade your cells, inject their DNA into your mitochondria. Their DNA rapes your cell and produces the new bastardized cells that will then invade your body or whatever the thing is and cause problems for you. Okay? All right. Everybody exercise. Do a good job at it. All right, kinesiology and cytology. Kinesiology is the study of human movement, although here we will focus on exercise and energy to do so. Cytology is the study of cells. Here we will focus on human mitochondria in regards to the electron transport chain, cellular respiration, and the citric acid cycle, also known as the Krebs cycle. So you can look this stuff up. All right. Muscles. All movement requires muscle, and repetitious movement is a form of exercise. Meditation and stillness are also types of exercise. Muscle cells are more accurately called myofibers. Okay? These are a few pictures of what they look like. Muscle cells are broken into 3 specifications: cardiac, which are heart muscles; smooth, which are organ muscles; and skeletal. These are the popular muscles here. Okay? So most people, when they go to the gym, they think they're working their whole body out because they got nice chests. Okay? Beneath that, it may be a mess. Skeletal muscle is what most people see, hence this is what the training goal of 90% of exercise routines target. The basic training I've laid out targets all 3 types of muscle in less than 10 minutes a day. Send me an email at theamberinstitute@gmail.com and I will send you this list so you won't have to miss those basic exercises. All muscle movement is based on contraction and relaxation. This is all based on electricity, which is why muscle is extremely electrically conductive and should be addressed as such. Okay? All right. Fatigue. Fatigue is based on 2 major items: energy supply and lactic acid. Okay? Lactic acid is a byproduct of anaerobic metabolism, meaning exercise after you have used your oxygen storage. Okay? 10 seconds on average. Okay? For most of us, it's like 4 seconds. So after 10 seconds of any type of exercise, your body starts building lactic acid in the blood and muscle fibers that you're using. All right? This is where fatigue comes from. And once you get a lot of lactic acid built up in that muscle, you can no longer movement, hence you're tired, you're done working out. So the more you can get rid of the lactic acid, the longer you can work out. Oh, okay. Well, that's what I was saying right here. The pancreas, in conjunction with the mucous membrane, begins production of sodium bicarbonate to assist calcium in neutralizing blood and tissue acidity. This is very important right here. The mucous membrane. All right, I first heard of this from Dr. Sabi, and because I never heard of it before I heard him say it, I went on a blitz to figure out what the mucous membrane was because I was confused. I thought the mucous membrane was something that produced snot. Okay? The mucous membrane is actually the inner layer of skin on your body. So your body has 2 layers of skin. It's like a straw. Your body's actually just a long tube, if you think about it, like a straw. Okay? Right out the mouth and then, you know. On the inside, the skin that coats your body is called the mucous membrane. Okay? This is where all of your stem cells for new cell growths are at. Okay, so when the red blood cells are converting into different various cells throughout the body, it's pulling new stem cells from the mucous membrane. This is why in the evolution of disease, they got to the real nasty guy, AIDS, and it targeted the mucous membrane. Okay, because cancer, people starting to beat cancer, so they had to go back to the drawing board and mix a few cancers together. Okay, and figure out a new way to target the body. So they targeted the body's ability to reproduce its new cells. The amount of sodium bicarbonate your body can produce and oxygen your body can store thus forms your endurance. Okay, because sodium bicarbonate is the natural way your body wants to alkalize itself. All right? So yes, baking soda, that's what this is. Sodium bicarbonate, for those of you not familiar. This is baking soda, and your body produces it naturally throughout the body to neutralize acidity.
So are you saying that?
Fire away.
So are you saying that if
If
we have a lactic acid, can you hear me?
I can hear you clear. I
Okay.
just can't see.
So if you have a buildup of lactic acid, or if you're having that whole burning, strenuous sensation during exercise, maybe adding baking soda will help?
Nah, at that point it's too late. But adding baking soda sometimes is good. Like people who have light acid reflux, if you feel an onset of acid reflux coming, a couple of spoons of baking soda and some water, drink that down, acid reflux gone. All right, but it's not going to get to the targeted areas throughout. Like if you're working out your arms and you drink some baking soda, it's not going to get to the muscles where you need it at to give you any real relief. Yeah, exactly. It's not on a molecular level. Somebody give me that. Yeah. All right. So Mama Atomics helps with endurance, and we're gonna breeze past that because I spend a lot of time on Mama Atomics. But oxygen eliminates the buildup of lactic acid. Your body doesn't start to even produce lactic acid until all of the oxygen stores of the body is used up. So by Mama Atomics supplying oxygen directly to the cells, it limits your lactic acid production.
So is that what a Charlie horse is?
Kinda. Charlie horse is more like you're not having the right sodium and potassium balance. Yeah. So a little good sea salt and water will help a Charlie horse out. Yeah, get some good quality salt though.
I used to get them when I used to go swimming a lot in my foot, and then it seemed like it was compounded with the water pressure on top of it.
Yeah, I used to do like leg lifts. I had only that machine in my house. But I used to do them too much, and I used to get them. So that's how I know. My aunt, she told me, she's like, just drink some salt water, boy. Shut up all that crying. Okay. All right, we'll go through this. For the first 2 to 10 seconds of exertion, energy is supplied by ATP. All right? This is relevant to the mitochondria. So for the first 2 to 10 seconds of exertion, energy is supplied by ATP and recycled by creatine, phosphate. So yes, creatine is also natural in the body. Okay? It's natural. Your muscles create it. After the first 10 seconds, oxygen stores as well as ATP stores are depleted, at which point the body switches to glycolysis. Okay? Glyc. Anybody on glyc? What's glyc? Absolutely. So anytime you see that, you know it's sugar happening. So what your body is doing is switching to burning sugar, and sugar can be synonymous with fat throughout the body. So your body's burning sugar, which it stores as fat, to produce that energy. Oh, and that's what it says. That's fine. To explain further, I must remind you that carbon in any molecule serves as the glue, and breaking or oxidizing of a molecule is what produces energy. All right, and oxidizing a molecule is simply removing an electron. Okay, we're not going to get deep into the specifics. Actually, you know what? I do need to go back to that. Oh. Where you at? Okay. So at any point, this is going to stop loading. Yeah. All right, there we go. That's how we cheat and deal with that. Turn it off and restart. Definitely a Nintendo kid. I don't like the way the game's going. Reset button. All right, so, all right. All right, a glucose molecule contains 6 carbon atoms. All right, this is where the importance, or you'll start to be able to see the importance of citric acid. A glucose molecule contains 6 carbon atoms. These split into 2 sets of 3. These 2 sets of 3 are called pyruvate. So anybody that's in the gym working out hardcore, you might have heard about this supplement, pyruvate. All right, it's simple energy. All right, because it's taking you a step further in glycolysis. Instead of having to break that glucose molecule down, it's already broken down into 2 sets of 3. Each of these pyruvates gives off CO2, which is 1 carbon and 2 oxygens, changing the pyruvate from a 3 carbon molecule to a 2 carbon, acetyl-CoA. Right? Some of us have heard of acetyl-CoA. As this is happening, the body converts L-malate into oxaloacetic acid, which is a 4 carbon molecule. Okay? Mind you, we started with a glucose molecule. This is the process. The body does this to combine this 4 carbon molecule with a 2 carbon acetyl-CoA, which becomes a 6 carbon molecule again, but this time it's citric acid. So the body goes through this whole complicated formula in glycolysis, and this is very dumbed down. Okay, this is just giving you the simple, looking at the carbon aspect. It does all of this converting just to create citric acid. Okay, so everything that your body burns for fuel gets converted to what before your body can use it? Citric acid. No. Citric acid. Your body's converting the sugar into citric acid. Okay? So this tells you whether lemons are good for you or not. Your body wants that. Your body, if you don't feed it lemons and limes, if you don't feed it a grapefruit, your body's going to convert the other things you eat into that anyway. So you might as well get the citric acid in there if you want the energy straight right away. And that eliminates the energy your body has to expend converting sugars into citric acid. Okay? Citric acid is the core of energy production, and the reason why citrus fruits cause phytophotodermatitis. Now, for us, melanated individuals, yellow, brown, black, purple a little bit, this is not a problem. Okay, we like this. It makes us darker. You have a bunch of lemons and limes and go out in the sun, you will get darker. Okay? Europeans have called this a disease. Okay? So this is no good for them. They don't like it. Citrus in particular, the lemon, was created in a laboratory by Africans to fight disease. So yes, this is a hybrid, but your ancestors created this. Your ancestors created this in North Africa when they were being invaded by the Europeans. Okay, without getting too deep into that history, the main weapon the Europeans had at their disposal was illness. That's how they wore your ancestors down, disease. Okay, so this is one of the things that we created so that way we could fight them off for future generations, the lemon. Okay, so how does it work? When you eat a lemon, it increases the electricity in the body instantly, causing photons to speed up. So if you, the electrons to speed up. So if you're in the sun, the photons of light will cause the electrons in your body to speed up, thus raising the voltage of your internal electricity. The body responds by producing more melanin to transduce the charge. Now, why does this happen? I know this is on some people's minds. Anytime a photon hits a surface, this is just science. Anytime a photon hits a surface, a photon is a particle of light. Anytime a photon hits a surface, the electrons in that surface are sped up. Period. Okay? got a lot of citric acid in your body. You already got a lot of electricity. Then you got the photons causing those electrons that are already moving faster. Your body has to figure out a way to handle all that electricity. And it does that by producing more melanin. All right? The increase in electricity kills bacteria, yeast, and fungus, while the heat given off internally melts fat cells. ATP and creatine are not a healthy black body source of energy. Electrons are. In fact, ATP and phosphorylation are byproducts of the atom splitting cycle that really supplies your body with energy. If your health guru's list does not include lemons, he is either not studying the body or not telling you the whole truth. It's like telling people they need iron for their blood when iron doesn't work without copper. Okay? All right. Let's move a little faster. All right. Okay. So this is quite possibly the last slide that we're moving into the main course. I think we got it on the lemon, though. We got it on the lemon? All right, like 6 people got it on the lemon. Everybody else is like, yeah, I'll just send you the email, bro. Just send me that food list. I'll read it myself.
Eat the lemon seeds too?
Yes, eat the lemon seeds too, yeah.
The pip in the middle, I heard, is the highest concentration of vitamin C. Is that true or just?
The who?
Pip, the little, the light part.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. All right. So we're going to move into the meat and potatoes. Okay, neurological dysfunction. An ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure. Okay? And that's old school, but obviously we miss that. Because people still have a westernized view even when they are dealing with holistic healthcare. Holistic healthcare is not something you want to deal with in hindsight. Okay? When you seen Brother Dave going into all those are formulas you want to incorporate now. You don't want to wait till you already have a situation and then you call it Minister ENQI like, no, dude, I told you 3 months ago, put the Pepsi down, get you some Candida cleanse, you know. So, the brain and the mind. The brain is a highly complex system of tissues, cells, and water designed to process and route information. The mind is an amalgamation of the body's magnetic fields referred to in it as a hard drive mainly. The body has many brains but only one mind, which make up the bulk of your neurological system. This is the main component of your electrical body. 80% of all the nutrients you put into your body goes to your brain first. The brain is electric, okay? And the relationship the brain has to the heart is the same that copper has to iron. Okay? Electricity and magnetism. All right? So we're going to have to wing it on some of these slides. I see that the whole slide's not going to make it. All right? The main thing you need to know for this presentation is that both electricity and magnetism are created by electron movement. When more than one electron moves in a direction, it's called electricity. Okay? That's what electricity is, a group of electrons moving in unison. And as soon as electricity is generated, the charge it contains emits a magnetic field. Okay? So you can never have electricity without having a magnetic field. Okay? And inversely, you can never have a magnetic field without that magnetic field generating electricity in the middle of it. Okay? They don't exist without the other. Period. Electricity is male, and it's a creator. Magnetism is female. It is a nourisher. It holds things. It takes care of things. Anywhere in this world, that you find a machine or an electronic device that stores information, it does so just like what they studied in your body. Magnetism. Okay? So when you look in your computer, it's a magnetic hard drive everything is stored on. When you look in your cell phone, it's magnetics. Magnetics, magnetics, magnetics. All right? And there's a European guy by the name of Vogel, Vogel. Give him a quick plug. He revolutionized magnets and storing information on computers for IBM. And then the stuff he learned dealing with the magnets drove him right out the computer business, and he started just dealing with computer technology. So you might want to check out Vogel on the Google search. Light scientifically represents information, and magnetism is how that information is stored. Credit cards, computers, phones, anything, okay. This is why no amount of dissections can locate a physical mind. It doesn't exist. They've been looking in your body for where the mind is for a long time. What is popularly referred to as the aura is actually the mind. The chakras and energy channels throughout the body conduct information in the form of light, mimicked by fiber optic cables, spoken of in the Bible long before the European mastered the genie in the bottle. And we'll talk about that. That's electron tubes, okay? So that you know this information is yours and it's ancient, okay? Job 38:35. God is talking to Job, and he's asking Job, can you send lightnings that they may say to you, here we are? This is in the Bible. I couldn't believe it when I seen it. And I was debating in McDonald's with somebody. He was like, yeah, well, you go to Job, it says this. I'm like, no, it don't. He's like, yes, it do. All right, so there's simply no other plausible meaning for this except for that they had the technology. Period. Okay, because that's what fiber optic cables do right now. Okay, so the midbrain and the brainstem. The midbrain is where reality is created, and the two-dimensional becomes three-dimensional. Remember, everything we see around us is vibrating masses of energy. Our brain not only processes information, but arranges the derived data into your reality. Okay? This is why 70% of the stuff in this room going on right now, we can't see. Scientific fact, your brain edits out 70% of the things going on around you because you haven't put them in your codex as real. So your brain recognizes them as fictional or dangerous and edits them out. Edits them right out. Okay? The brainstem has 12 melanated centers: the substantia nigra, the nucleus brachialis, the nucleus paranigralis, the locus coeruleus medialis, the nucleus intracapularis, nucleus subclavius, nucleus nervi trigemini. Okay, it has 12 melanated centers.
Believe me, I've been there.
Okay, yeah, 12 melanated centers. Now, what fascinates me is that most of them have this nigra. So you know what that is. Then they telling you it's black, right? So don't let them folks fool you. They love you. Not only is this the area of the conscience, but it is also the location of the subconscious mind, controlling all of your most important bodily functions, such as breathing, the heartbeat, abstract thought, coughing, sneezing, sex, emotions, pleasure, addiction, learning, reward seeking, and trust me, the etc. covers everything else I didn't mention. Two specific areas of interest to us will be the locus coeruleus and the substantia nigra. I just love to keep saying substantia nigra. These are the primary players in every... This is what excited me. I'm going to tell you, this is what excited me about the brain. Because this substantia nigra is a little black box in the middle of the brain. And it contains melanin. And once that melanin disappears, your mind stops functioning. Wow. So that was like the end of race. Like, I thought anybody that was the end of the racist concept in my mind. I was like, dude, stop. There's no blackness in you. You would just fall on the ground. Like you just, there's no blackness in you. You just wouldn't even function. You just, stop that. These are the primary players in every waking and unwaking action your body takes that are seldom discussed because of their significance. The locus coeruleus is considered by some the star of the show. The name means blue spot, symbolized by all of the blue lotus lore all of us should be familiar with. If you haven't heard of the blue lotus flower, then you aren't really ready for this book. And wink, wink. This is the money mind state. There are over 50,000 neurons in this nucleus alone. 50,000. This nucleus plays a big role in activating the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, REM sleep, and working memory. Okay, remember, working memory. So when you see memory, you think magnetic. Come on, Babo. I know it's 10 o'clock. The substantia nigra is the true black dot and star to show as far as I'm concerned. The nerve cells in this part of the cube are jet midnight Africa in the summertime black. And the dendrites here are the thickest and longest out of the entire brain. In a healthy human, the melanin concentration increases here with time, further demonstrating what our ancestors knew. This is what they meant by you getting wiser with age scientifically. The name is, of course, self-explanatory. It means black substance and is divided into two parts, the pars compacta and the pars reticular. The skinny explanation is the pars compacta is a neuron input and the pars reticular is a neuron output system. All aspects of the brain and nervous system are regulated by this small black area in the cube. This is done via dopamine, the master of all neurotransmitters. The cube is awesome, even more awesome in real life than on the big screen and in the esoteric legends. Just think melanin deficiency in the cube results in schizophrenia, Tourette syndrome, obsessive compulsive disorder, Wilson's disease, Parkinson's disease, Alzheimer's disease, etc. This is a perfect time to mention prions, a delicious little treat in the form of a tiny, tiny little worm that we eat every time we eat any kind of flesh except fish. The higher the concentration of blood in the flesh that we eat, the higher the concentration of prions that we also eat. Okay? So although pork has the most and chicken has the least amount, chicken is still flooded with these little delicious creatures. These little guys have friends in high places. That's why they're so successful at avoiding paparazzi. Okay, because somebody said to me before, why isn't everyone talking about prions if these little things live in your brain and they eat brain matter? Because that's what these little guys do. They eat brain matter. And they live in flesh, okay? So every time you eat a piece of chicken, there are little guys that are swimming from that chicken that are also eating you. This world is built around circles and cycles and sharing. So if you don't eat the animals, the animals are also eating you, okay? Now, here's the fly part about prions. This is the best part of the story. And this was a big, I can't even say big loud enough, big part of my motivation to go vegetarian. Okay? Prions cannot be killed. What? They cannot be killed. So, yeah, even the Candida cleanse from Minister ENQI does not kill prions. Nothing kills them. There's no level of cold, there's no level of heat that can do anything with them. The only thing you can do to offset prions that you've already dealt with is continue to keep your brain active and learn. That produces SPM genes and that causes your brain to grow. So your brain will grow faster than the little guys can eat it and cause your brain to shrink. Okay? So that's it. That's the only solution. Stop eating meat and pick up a new language or something. That's it, yeah. Like make a square with this hand and a circle with this hand. Get your brain active. Addiction to drugs and sugar. You see, this type of study will remove any confusion you have about who is who and what is what. There's a war being waged against your brain. Against your brain. From heroin to crack to weed to starch to sugar and everything in between, these substances all target the cube, which is the midbrain. In fact, amongst the medical community, it is a well-known fact that the deeper the pigmentation of the cube, the more prone you are to addiction. The deeper the pigmentation of the center of your brain, the more prone to addiction you are. Conversely, the less pigment you have in the center of your brain, the easier it is for you to use these types of narcotics and quit cold turkey. Depending on the level of melanation in the cube, certain walks of life are almost oblivious to addiction, meaning they can do all types of hardcore narcotics. And when I say narcotics, I want sugar to pop up in your mind, and never experience physical addiction. So not only are these narcotics, sugars, directed specifically at melanites to damage their brain, but if you quit using these substances, dopamine production may be damaged beyond repair. Keep in mind when choosing a snack for yourself or your child that crack cocaine, ladies and gentlemen, is 95% starch. Wow. Just like French fries. Clap it up for French fries. Let's run to McDonald's.
Hi, you're here with Kenneth Williams. We're here live at BlackandNobel Books in the heart of North Philly at Broad and Erie. I'm here with my main man, Brian B.Y. Jennings, and as always, the B.Y.'s for Knockout. Brian is here straight off his spectacular victory over former world heavyweight champion Sergey Liakovich. We also got his son here, Little Mace, maybe the future of another boxing lineage.
He weighed in at 219.5 pounds. Black trunks, red trim, perfect professional record, 12 victories. Professional record, 25 victories.
He knows that he's 27 days. He said he's moving around a little bit, but he can't just sit there and cover up like that. So he's watching, he's getting timing for a jab. Jennings, Kovic now with some good punches as we come to an end of round two. Absolutely. Nice.
strikes of the bell, and there is the winner, Bryant Jennings, the 27-year-old, 2-year pro out of Philadelphia, goes to 13-0.
But I want to ask Brian, how you feeling, man? That was a great fight, you know, very convincing over a former world title holder. How you feel about that?
I feel good, man. You know, the hard work is paying off, you know. And like I always tell them, you know, from the jump, you know, my comfortability level is the only thing that's, you know, that slows me down a little bit. So the more and more comfortable I get, the better and better I look, you know, and I feel, you know. So, and now I feel even more comfortable, you know, and I'm getting better and better each day, each fight.
Absolutely. And this victory, you was 12-0 prior to the Liakovic fight, so you're 13-0 now.
Yeah.
And most fighters at this earlier stage in their career don't have a victory over a world title holder. You know, so that definitely propels you into the upper echelon of the heavyweights in this country. And I watched the fight. Of course, I wanted to be there, but I couldn't. But in watching it, one of the commentators, who is a world-class boxing trainer, he actually trains world and pound-for-pound king Manny Pacquiao. He said that we might be looking at the future of American heavyweight boxing. How you feel about that comment?
Yeah, well, you know, it's the hard work that's actually paying off. You know, I'm a dedicated boxer. Like I say before, all the time, I live it. So you know, it's the recognition pays off, and I feel honored to, you know, to be a part of something that great. You know, that's what I work hard for. You know, it's, you know, my goal is near, like it's in arm's reach. I just gotta, you know, reach a little further, you know, work a little harder, you know, do what I got to do. It's right there for me.
Absolutely. And I see you holding up that belt, you know, that jewelry, and you want to tell the fans the title.
This is the Pennsylvania State Heavyweight Champion belt. I received this on January 21st of 2012 when I defeated the heavy-hitting southpaw, Mr. Maurice Byarm. You know, that was my first time on NBC Sports. It was a good day. It was a good fight. You can always view it on YouTube, but this is where that comes from. This was the beginning of greatness right here.
So, and before it's all over, we're definitely going to see you with many more of those belts by different sanctioning bodies. So, after such a great victory, what's next for Brian Jennings?
Well, you know, I figured, you know, a couple more fights and then, you know, the world title. You know, right now was the time, you know, you sit around and you observe. You know, you observe the game. You know, you watch, and you know, these next few fights, you have to pick very carefully, and you have to look your best. You have to perfect. I have to perfect these next few fights, you know, in order to even receive a world title shot. Right, absolutely. And when is the next fight for you?
The
next fight will be June 16th at the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey, and it's going to be on NBC Sports. The opponent is not available right now, to be announced. So, but you know, look forward to that. And you know, NBC, they're trying to put me on everything.
Absolutely. Okay, and like you said, this is the start of something great. And you know, we're here, Kenneth Williams, BlackandNobel. We're definitely, you know, pleased and thank you for the opportunity that you come here, giving us your first interviews. Yeah. Any shout outs you want to give?
It's a whole lot of shout outs I want to give. You know, first of all, shout out to God, you know what I'm saying, who's taking me this far. You know, shout out to my son, and shout out to Elite Class. You know, we taking it there. Shout out to my man Kenny right here, you know what I'm saying? Cause you know what I'm saying, we from grind from the bottom, man, you know what I'm saying? So you know, there's a whole lot of other names I would like to say that don't want to admit anyone else, so I just stop it right there. You know, shout out to all my supporters and fans, family, everybody, and you know, Stay in touch.
Absolutely, and I'm gonna say, definitely shout out. Let's give Fred Jenkins, one of the, most underrated boxing trainers.
Yeah, how can I forget my camp? You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, but he mean as much to me as I'm sure he does to you. But Fred Jenkins, one of the most underrated boxing trainers in the history of boxing. And I definitely want to give a shout out to BlackandNobel, Hakeem, and Tyson, definitely in the building. And here you have it right now. We're talking about Brian Jennings, the future of American heavyweight boxing.
Right off the Barnary sub-stop, Philadelphia, PA. Shot so loud you would think it was a club spot. African Americans, although we all over the web, we the hood librarians. We ship to prisons too. We reach out and deliver to those that's bitten too, but it's more than a bookstore. You wonder we got it, mixtapes, DVDs, and culture products. BlackandNobel got our hands in a lot of projects. We welcome all to come build. The energy is positive, and remember other teams is awake and conscious. Come through and experience this place of knowledge. They say they'll put it in a book if they wanna hide it from us, but we got them books so you can buy it from us. Something to read while you on a train or riding the bus. Get your read on, food for thought, get your eat on. BlackandNobel, I buy my books at BlackandNobel. BlackandNobel, I buy my books at BlackandNobel. BlackandNobel, I buy my books at BlackandNobel. BlackandNobel, I buy my books at BlackandNobel.
Nine out of 10 cases, anybody goes to see a doctor with any type of neurological dysfunction, be it autism, be it schizophrenia, whatever the case, they're going to give you one of two types of drugs. It's going to be either a vasodilator or a vasoconstrictor. All right? Vasodilators, we could just look it up for a little while. Vasodilators open up those arteries that brings the blood up to the brain so that you get more electrical activity in the brain. Okay? More red blood is bringing more fresh electrons up to the brain for more electricity. However, if the doctors feel like you have too much electricity in any area of the brain, they'll give you a vasoconstrictor, which closes those arteries down, limiting the blood flow. Okay? In no case do they decide to repair those pathways so your brain can just regulate itself again. That would be too simple to just give you like some copper and iron and then give you straight blood. So, who is this? Seshat, the ancient Egyptian goddess of wisdom, knowledge, and writing. She was seen as a scribe and a record keeper, and her name means she who scrivens. Means basically she's the scribe, and is credited with inventing writing. She also became identified as the goddess of architecture, astronomy, astrology, building, mathematics, and surveying. Now reading that, she sounds like female Thoth, right? Yeah. All right. And you see she got the ibis. All right. So just like O-negative blood, the origin of cannabis sativa and cannabis indica, which are the two strains of marijuana that are natural, are unknown. The earliest records are from China, 6000 BCE. They used cannabis for food at that time. It was a food. Egypt was known for the chronic evidence by their, no, it's the chronic. Seriously. Egypt was known for the chronic. Evidenced by the tax Aurelian, the 3rd century Roman emperor imposed on Egyptian cannabis. Okay, Egyptian cannabis. Other cannabis was cool. But if you had that Egyptian cannabis, I'm going to need a little cash or a little bud. Okay? Cannabis was known throughout antiquity for its medicinal prowess. Diodorus Siculus documented the use of Mary Jane for depression. Notable mentions in Ramses Papyrus, the Ebers Papyrus, also known as the Book of Imhotep, is the oldest complete medical text on earth. So we still have Imhotep's book. Okay? Be clear. The Berlin Papyrus and the Chester Beatty Papyrus. All these papyruses are tucked away nicely in museums. While they tell you they have no idea what to do with these diseases that are running rampant. All the books with the clearly written out cures for them are on display somewhere. All right? Formula number 618 in the Ebers Papyrus on plate 78. The ingredients are honey, cannabis, and some other things that have not been translated. Okay, just to give you a spot where you can go and see one of these recipes at. The pollen of the cannabis plant also makes an appearance in all royal mummies. All. So, this weed thing might not be new. Every mummy of royal lineage had a little something. Okay? So let's get back to Dendera. The two competing theories about these pigs are both incorrect. The Egyptologists look at this picture and see a coded creation story in classic Egyptian symbolism. The ancient astronaut theorists who secretly get their checks from the same boss as the Egyptologists look at this picture and see a light bulb. Some people would say, what's wrong with that? I would just give the face mixed with the sarcastic lip and rock eyebrow. Okay? You can't credit the group who built the pyramids with spaceships and interplanetary civilization and then say you're reducing their secret technology to a light bulb. It just doesn't fit in my common sense spectrum. The Temple of Dendera was a sacred place for only the high priest, which contained the secret of life. The secret of life. This is another telltale sign of what those hieroglyphs are telling you. Because now we know the secret of life is electricity. So we know what that was. The best lies you must know and remember are cloth in truth. That's what makes them the best lies. Point being, there is truth in both theories. This allows for both sides to argue false premises with sincerity and mislead the people knowingly. Okay? So it seems like they're really having an argument over this theory, but really there is no argument. They know what it is. They're just trying to mislead you. So you'll divide yourself down the middle and pick either side, and both sides are wrong. Either way, you have no idea what's going on. They still going to the bank with our technology, patented up. The lotus flower in ancient Egyptian law was said to be the first thing to emerge from the waters of Nu. This may have been because the lotus flowers of today go below water at sunset and reemerge at sunrise. Lotus flowers also represent the highest levels of spiritual consciousness attainable in the flesh. The lotus then gives birth to the first god, Atum, which is a snake, who then goes on to create everything else in the universe. I explained this in depth in the cellular water book, but I'll give a short explanation here. Okay? In order to generate a current, there must first exist a potential. Okay? In any conductive medium. When the waters of Nu are all that was, okay, whether you consider it to be the waters of Nu or not, it could be Big Bang Theory, whatever you call it. When everything that was parted, okay, when it split, dark matter from dark energy, this created a potential. Okay? Anytime you have two conductive mediums that come into contact with each other, if they are not at the exact same electrical capacity, there's going to be a potential. Example, if I shake his hand and we have remotely the same amount of electricity flowing through our body like just now, it's just a regular handshake. However, if one of us has a little bit more electricity than the other, I'm going to shock him, or he's going to shock me. Okay? Because a potential between us exists. Okay? That's what a potential is. Okay? So if one medium has a 10 electricity and the other medium has a 9, there's a potential of 1. Come on, people. I know it's Saturday. It's Saturday. I was going to the club. My man, Minister ENQI coming up. Join all of a sudden. So there's a potential of 1, okay? And that electric potential will move from the highest to the lowest, okay? All the time. That's just natural law, okay? So the moment that all that was separated, that generated a potential. That potential generated a tomb, which is the electron, which is why he is the sun or the star god. The sun is, or any star for that matter, is as close as we can get to pure energy. Okay, 80% hydrogen. All of physicality came out of the electron in the guise of huge balls of gas. Stars, again, as previously stated, are really, really big atoms. In our picture, we have the lotus flower representing the emergence from the primal waters, with the snake, the electron, emerging from the lotus. This snake is very telling in this relief, as it symbolizes then, as it always had in Egypt, the life force, which we know of now is electric. That animates the body, residing in the spine, the jet pillar, right? And what does a jet pillar do? That's where they came up with the battery. So we know what the battery's about, electricity again, okay? Called Kundalini. Okay? Right, that top line is just not going to happen. At the same time that the first potential became the first current or spark of life, the vacuum came into being. Okay? That's the lotus. That's what this is representing. The vacuum that electron had to exist in. Okay? It had to exist in a space. Okay? Because remember, the moment you have an electron or some electricity, what else do you have? A magnetic field. Right? So that's what's creating your vacuum. So right here, you clearly have an electron in a vacuum tube, which is what the Egyptian cosmology is really trying to tell you about. Okay? This is how the universe came into existence. It is well known that the Egyptians believed that the entire universe sits in a fragile bubble of air in the midst of the eternal primal waters of Nu. At this point, I can easily rest my case, spark of life in a vacuum. The cosmogony of Egypt kept this truth at its heart. The bubble in the middle of the primal waters that contain the spark of life we know as electricity. The different pictures of this most sacred depiction show either the goddess Nu or the jet pillar supporting this bubble. The jet pillar is the oldest electrical design for storage, capacitance, and flow of electricity, as well as magnetic fields. It is my personal theory that the bubble is a magnetic field. The initial current created a magnetic field containing an incalculable amount of pressure. This pressure and counter pressure is as previously mentioned, what keeps people alive. So the law of the microcosm and macrocosm should suffice here. Okay, when you go into the book, I talk about pressure and counter pressure keeping you alive as far as your lungs and breathing. Okay, that's how we'll get into that at some point. The genie in the bottle, which is really the electron in the tube based on the spark of life in a vacuum. This is the secret that has been kept since its inception. I am sharing it with you. The entire world has been granted to those who risk life and limb to attain this knowledge. Don't think they got it easy. This is what they came in successive waves and kept trying to get into Egypt for. Okay? Now we let these people that then wrote the history books tell you, oh, no. When they invaded your people, they burned all the books. So they got rid of them nasty little books. That is the biggest lie ever. Like with what was that? Debate number 2 when Barack Obama said that to Mitt. I think that's the biggest whopper you told the whole debate. I bust out laughing when Barack said that. But I think that's the biggest lie right there that the history writers have tried to push into our psyche. That they were invading these places and getting rid of the knowledge. No, they were invading these places to take the knowledge. But to safeguard the knowledge so that you wouldn't go looking to take it back, they told you they burnt it, so it doesn't exist anymore. Okay? That's right. Did I see a question over there? Okay. The first law of thermodynamics. Okay, energy transformation. Energy before, energy after. So what is this telling you? Anybody? First law of thermodynamics.
No loss of energy.
Right. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. Okay? If life force is electric and mind is magnetic, is immortality in some form real or possible? It depends on you. Death was sacred. Our ancestors all taught death as a sacred ritual. A sacred ritual, okay? And life was all about making a successful transition, which was entirely dependent on how you lived, okay? Your level of consciousness and the strength of your personal electrical field's charge compression density. Okay? But Europeans have created all these terms to keep this out of layman's. See, in Egypt is just the bar and the car. Europe and America is the personal electrical field's charge compression density. It's like, what? It's your car, man. It's the car. Okay? So now, what are we looking at here? All right. Let me get some light real quick. All right. Tyson.
Yeah.
Somebody.
Some light.
Let there be light.
Let there be light. All right. So what I want to show you real quick is something very new and exciting about water. We're gonna go back to that. I just want to show the family something real quick about water and how life was created, and how life is created on any planet. Okay, water and fire both come from the sun or a star, the local star system in any universe. Okay, so the first thing you're gonna have is a star. All right, that star is gonna have flares. Every time the sun flares up, gases, which water is, we forget that sometimes. Water is just hydrogen and oxygen. Those are two gases. So the sun ejects those out. It also injects fire, which would be like helium and some of the hotter gases. As those helium and those hotter gases cool, you get big lumps of rock. As those rocks start to float, eventually they slap into some water. Move forward a few thousand years. The rock is now holding on to the water. The water is now evaporating to some degree, causing a little atmosphere around that rock. Now it's a planet. Okay? This is how that happens. As water absorbs radiation. Okay? I write books, I'm not an artist. Okay, let's make a sunshine. Yep. My sunshine got dreadlocks. So the sun is sending down some radiation, and this is what happens in water as it's absorbing radiation. Okay, when you have regular water, you have the charges, positive and negative, just kind of all over the place. There's no organization in the water. This is unstructured water. This is the majority of the water floating around there. Unstructured water. Okay? Your cells all throughout your body want structured water. Okay? So as the radiation hits the water starts to structure the charge in it. Okay? And what it does is it creates what science is now calling an exclusion zone. Okay? And the exclusion zone is simply the area of negative charge. Okay? So it'll change this kind of madness, this unorganized charge thing, and the area closest to the radiation will maintain the negative charges, right? Your electrons. And it'll push the protons, the positive charges, to the bottom, okay? This is how structured water looks and how it gets structured, okay? Now let me show you something fly about this. Because if I do this, right? If I do that in a little circle, and then do a really big circle around that, it's a single cell organism. This is how life has formed. This is the secret to it. Okay? These secrets be really simple, huh? Yeah, they hide stuff in plain sight. Now, let's check this out though. If I make another shape with this, right? You do this. Let me erase my nasty circles here. Just got my water, right? Okay, my structured water. If I do this to my structured water picture, what is that? A battery. A battery. You got to see this. Life is electric. That's it. This is what each one of your cells is. It's a very, very fancy battery. Your body is made up of 100 trillion of them. Okay? And this is important to go along with this information. So now we kind of get a better idea of why the water quality is so important throughout the body. Because if you have bulk water, which is this kind of stuff, there's no health here. This is an unhealthy cell right here. Get ready to go through apoptosis. Okay? And you don't know what that means. That's when the cell decides to commit suicide. Cells do that. Okay? So this is the origin of life. This is how life is created, started, and maintained in like 60 seconds by Minister ENQI.